Okay, toxoplasmosis is a microscopic parasite that lives in cats. However, it can be found in other mammals. We can pick it up as people. Dogs, cows, sheep can also pick it up. But cats aren't the only reservoir for infection. You can get infected from things like undercooked meat, unpasteurised milk, and toxoplasmosis can also be found in the soil, so vegetables that haven't been washed properly, and when you're gardening you're also at risk slightly there as well. There's been several studies that have looked at, is there an increased risk of a person getting toxoplasmosis if they have close contact with cats? And it's been found that you're not at an increased risk. Your risk is not any more increased than a person who doesn't own a cat or have close contact with cats. And that's because it's quite difficult to get toxoplasmosis from cats directly in a number of different ways. Cats will only get toxoplasmosis once in their life. They'll only shed the organism for about 10 to 14 days. When they shed the organism has to have time to become infective, and it's infective in cat poo, and normally we tidy away cat poo quite quickly before it has a chance to be infective to people. So studies have shown that on the whole, owning a cat is not associated with a high risk of getting toxoplasmosis. So there's no special measures, particularly that pregnant women need to take in order to avoid contact with their cat. They can still have a cat in the home and have just as much contact as they used to have. Just a couple of extra precautions they might want to take in terms of handling cat faeces. They might want to get somebody else to potentially clean the litter tray once a day, but otherwise using gloves, using good hand washing, good hygiene, making sure the litter tray's been emptied at least once in a 24-hour period before the toxoplasmosis potentially in faeces has the chance to become infective. The other things they can take outside of owning a cat would be preventing toxoplasmosis infection from things like soil, so making sure that vegetables are really thoroughly washed, wearing gloves when gardening, and also avoiding eating undercooked meat or cured meats in particular, and unpasteurised milk as well. There's no evidence to show that owning a cat increases your chances of getting toxoplasmosis. So pregnant ladies out there who own cats, you don't need to worry about giving up your cat because you're pregnant. Just take a few of those small precautionary steps and you should be fine. Toxoplasmosis is potentially an infection that anyone can get whatever your age, and particularly children can be more prone to getting infection because they are going to have naive immune systems, then they're not going to have picked it up before. Some of the common places that children can get the infection would be playing in uncovered sandpits, because as we know, cats love to use them as toilets. So keep those covered up when they're not in use, and just take general precautions of hand washing and all the usual sort of hygiene precautions, and the risk should be fairly low. So the litter tray is a place where potentially we can get toxoplasmosis because toxoplasmosis is found in cat faeces. It needs time to become infective, so it takes about 24 hours for it to become infective. But as long as we're tidying away cat faeces from litter within that 24-hour period, and I have to say most people probably do that already, then the cat faeces isn't infective at that stage. It would be very unlikely to. Cats are fastidiously clean creatures, so any sort of infective elements that might be in their fur, the cats normally remove themselves pretty quickly. On a similar sort of vein, really, if faeces is contaminating cat fur, then theoretically it's possible, but we don't often see faeces contaminating cat fur for those reasons, in that cats are so clean and really good at cleaning their fur as a creature. So normally it's not really a risk, no. Yes, I think that it's definitely more possible for cats to get toxoplasmosis themselves if they're hunters. Cats will generally pick up toxoplasmosis from their prey, so rodents in particular are carriers of toxoplasmosis, and the cat will ingest toxoplasmosis from eating those animals. So yes, a hunting cat is more likely to have toxoplasmosis, but as we've said, they will only ever get toxoplasmosis once in their life, and then they'll be resistant towards getting future infections. It's kind of almost, especially if you're pregnant, it's almost a good thing that you might have had toxoplasmosis before pregnancy, because like cats, once we've had it once, we won't get it again. We'll be immune to the organism at that stage. So in some ways, if you've tested positive for antibodies towards toxoplasmosis before you've fallen pregnant, then that's almost a good thing, because you're protected from a future infection during pregnancy.